Welcome to today's Yin-Yasa yoga class. Today's Yin and Vinyasa fusion is going to explore a combination of long-held and gentle postures, followed by some dynamic asanas to help us reconnect with our inner curiosity, creativity, and sense of calm. When you're ready, afford yourself a moment to find a comfortable seated position. You might like to join me in Sukhasana, crossing the legs, perhaps closing the eyes, and gifting yourself this space to tune into the breath, and giving yourself permission to detach from whatever concerns you were holding before arriving on your mat today. Honoring and recognizing the courage that you have demonstrated in showing up. Gifting yourself one more loving breath in this posture. You might like to keep the eyes closed. On your next exhale, we'll gently lower the right ear to the right shoulder. If you'd like to take this stretch a little further, walking your left fingertips over to the edge of the mat, and perhaps raising your right arm skywards and grabbing a hold of the back of the head with your palm, allowing the weight of your hand to gently guide your head towards your shoulder without forcing anything. Noticing the stretch along the left-hand side of your neck. One more breath. Gently release and finding your variation of this stretch on the other side. Giving yourself enough space and time to meet your energy levels for today. Reminding yourself that this is your own unique practice and every day looks different. So really allowing yourself to tune into the subtleties of today's experience with a loving compassion. 2 more mindful breaths in this posture. And gently releasing. Roll the shoulders back, and from here we'll create some half moon shapes with the head and the neck. Rolling the head from shoulder to shoulder, pausing anywhere that feels a little interesting. Perhaps noticing some regions where you might be holding on to tension. And asking yourself, what might it feel like to soften? What might it feel like to surrender? Great job beginning to slow down the movement. Inhale, raise the arms skywards. Exhale, twist the torso to the right, tenting up onto your right fingertips behind you, maybe gazing back. Pressing the outer edge of your left hand into that right thigh. Lengthening the spine with every inhalation. Feeling yourself rooting into the earth. And with every exhalation, seeing if you can twist a little further. This is a beautiful posture to warm up the spinal column. Reconnect with the body. Inhale, center. We'll swap the cross of the legs so that the opposite shin is in front. Relax the shoulders, and we'll take this twist on the other side. Finding a gentle warm-up before we get into a few of our long-held postures, just to ensure that we are present and we're able to sit with our own experience. One more breath. Inhale, returning to center. Great job. From here, we will extend the legs out in front. You might like to find some internal and external hip rotation. And when you're ready, we'll get set up for our first yin yoga posture, butterfly pose. Baddha Konasana, bending the knees, joining the feet together, allowing the knees to splay wide, lengthening the spinal column. It might feel nice to create some neck circles with the head and the neck. Really allowing yourself to soften. Feeling a beautiful opening around the inner hips, perhaps the outer glutes. And either staying in an upright variation, or if you have the range of motion, we'll extend the torso forwards, hinging from the hips, maybe staying upright on your palms, or you might like to lower down onto your forearms. If you'd like to take it a little further, perhaps resting your forehead on your hands or on the earth. Breathing into the back of the lungs, the back of the ribs. Noticing how your body feels in this posture. Knowing that there is no right or wrong, simply being curious. By choosing to perform these long-held yin postures before we get into some of our dynamic asanas, we're able to get into some of the more plastic, hard-to-reach tissues in the body. Oftentimes it can be in these less energetic places that can hold a lot of triggering emotions. They can be containing a lot of that resistance that is inhibiting our capacity to progress in our practice. So allow yourself to be here as you are, no judgment. Find stillness. guiding your awareness to the body, gifting yourself one more loving breath in butterfly pose. If you're in a forward fold, mindfully placing your palms under the shoulders and using core and arm strength to raise the torso upright. It might feel nice to take a side bend, feeling a beautiful stretch around the torso, the obliques, taking any adjustments, any movements that feel good for you. And from here, we'll keep our left leg bent. We'll extend our right leg out as we come into half butterfly. Guiding your sternum in line with the thigh, placing your palms on either side of that right leg and maybe hinging forwards. Or staying upright, it's entirely up to you. You might notice that this posture is quite similar to revolved head to knee pose or Janusirsasana in Hatha Yoga. Although in this variation, we really want to remain soft and supple. Allow the spine to round. Allow yourself to rest comfortably. Relax the hips, relax the shoulders. Unclench the jaw. Breathe. taking 3 more mindful breaths in this forward fold. Placing the palms under the shoulders and again using core and arm strength to guide the body upright. Great job. Gently bending the right knee in and extending the left leg out, and we'll go for half butterfly on the other side. Knowing that you can always pause the video and take any more movements if you need to invite a little bit of mobility into the hips, and join us when you're ready. Recognizing that there might be disparities between both sides of the body, knowing that that is okay. Seeing this as an opportunity to perhaps invite a little bit more compassion into your practice, particularly around these sensitive regions. Finding stillness. the mind had begun to wander, gently guiding your presence to the mat, to the body, to this stretch. Taking one more loving breath in this forward fold. And gently rising up into a seated position. Well done. After some introspective stillness in these yin restorative postures, we're going to gently invite some more dynamic movements into our practice. Coming into a kneeling position, resting on top of the heels. Inhale, raise the arms skywards. Exhale, lower the palms to heart center. And again, warming up the shoulders, the torso, and placing your palms on your knees, or take a seated cat-cow. If this is uncomfortable, knowing that you can always perform this in a cross-legged position. Inhale, scoop the chest forwards, gaze up. Exhale, curl and round the spine, chin to chest, a few more times. Making these movements as small or as large as you would like. Really articulating each movement here. On your next inhale, raising the arms skywards, separating them out wide at shoulder height. Exhale, forearms together, chin to chest. Inhale, cactus arms. Exhale, curl and round. Inhale, open. A few more times. Doing your best to keep the elbows at shoulder height. Feeling a beautiful stretch for the chest, the upper back. Great job. From here we'll find eagle arms, crossing one arm under the other, maybe finding a double bind as you join the palms together. It might feel nice to stay here, or if you'd like to find a little bit of movement, perhaps guiding the bind upwards, down, left to right, noticing where you're feeling the sensation. Separating the shoulder blades and slightly tucking the chin here to help elongate the back of the neck. 2 more loving breaths. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, find eagle bind, Garudasana on the other side. Lightly engaging the lower abdomen here so that we are protecting the lower back. Gently release, interlacing your fingers together behind the back, extending the arms, broadening across the heart space, and folding the torso forwards as though you were coming into child's pose, perhaps resting the forehead on the mat. Inhale, raise the torso, gaze up, swapping the grip of your bind so that the opposite index is in front. And again, exhale, folding forwards into your version of child's pose. Inhale, center, slowly roll up. Well done. From here, we'll come into a tabletop position on all fours, Bamanasana. Knees are in line with hips. Knees are hip width distance apart, wrists are underneath shoulders, and we'll take a traditional cat and cow, Marijiasana Bithilasana. Inhale, scoop the chest forwards, arch the back. Exhale, press into the palms, curl and round, and again. Exhale, spinal flexion. Inhale, spinal extension. Twice more, finding your cadence, allowing the breath to guide you. And when you're ready, we'll meet in a tabletop position. Ground down through the left palm. Inhale, float the right arm up, gaze up. Exhale, guide the right arm between the left arm and the left leg. Coming into Padasva Balasana, keeping the hips aligned with the knees. Perhaps guiding your left hand around that right hip for a beautiful shoulder opener. Breathe. Returning your left palm underneath the left shoulder. Inhale, raise the right arm skywards, gaze up. Exhale, tabletop. And we'll take this on the other side, finding your variation of this twisted child's pose. Finding stillness. One more loving breath. Mindfully releasing from the posture. Meeting in tabletop position, grounding down through both palms and the left leg. We'll extend the right leg up, float it to hip height, point the toes. Inhale, gaze up, extend the leg. Exhale, curl and round, knee to nose. Inhale, extend. Exhale, curl and round. A few more rounds of these tiger lift variations. Keeping that lower abdomen engaged here. Pressing down through the index fingers and the thumbs to support your wrists. Once more. On this next round, keeping the right leg extended, we'll come into some tricep push-ups, allowing the arms to graze the torso, lowering the chest and the face down to the earth and pushing up with control, keeping the hips squared. Once more. And gently release. Great job. Coming into cat pose, separating the shoulder blades, breathing into the back body. Returning to tabletop, and we'll take this on the other side. And this time extending the left leg, pointing the toes. Inhale, arch the spine, gaze up. Exhale, curl and round, knee to nose. Inhale. Exhale, just like this. Keeping the hips squared. Final round. This time keeping the left leg extended, and we'll come into these half tricep push-ups, lowering the torso and elevating with control. Really channeling the energy into the back of your arms and your abdomen to support you here. Unclenching the jaw. One more. Well done. Lowering the left leg down and sinking the hips back, child's pose. Gifting yourself one mindful breath in this posture. From here, grounding down through the palms, tucking the toes under, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Gaze is between the feet. Arms are extended, feeling a beautiful stretch along the entire posterior chain. Breathe. Inhale, raise the heels, and we'll begin to slowly walk the feet towards the top of the mat, taking as many steps as you would like. And from here, coming into a forward fold, maybe coming into ragdoll, interlacing either hand around opposite elbow. It might feel nice to either find stillness or sway the body, the torso, the hips from side to side, allowing the belly to rest atop of the thighs, lowering the palms to the earth or your shins. Inhale, halfway lift, extend the legs. Exhale, forward fold, bend the knees. And again, inhales, flat back. Exhale, forward fold once more. Beautiful work. From here, keeping the left palm as it is, bending the left knee, straightening the right leg. Inhale, raise the right arm skywards as you twist the torso to the right, maybe gazing up. Feeling a beautiful release around the IT band. You might find that slightly pushing your right hip out to the side will help you deepen this stretch. Find your edge. Exhale, right palm to the earth. Inhale, raise the left arm, finding this twist on the other side. Breathe. Exhale, left palm towards the earth, and we'll take this stretch once more on either side. Going at your own rhythm, noticing where you're feeling the sensation today. When you're ready, meeting in a forward fold, one breath here. And if your hamstrings are feeling particularly open, you might like to extend the legs, perhaps grabbing onto the backs of the ankles, the calf muscles, guiding your nose towards the knees. This variation of the posture is inaccessible to you. Know that you can always keep the knees bent. Listen to your body. Listen to your inner guidance system. From here, bending the knees, we'll come into Utkatasana chair pose, sinking the hips back, raising the torso, maybe raising the arms overhead, keeping the spine in a neutral alignment, keeping that core engaged, so imagining as though you can glue that navel to the spine, lengthening the back of the neck, scissoring the inner thighs together, engaging the glutes. Everything is working together here to help support you. Feeling those fingertips reaching towards the sky. One more breath. Staying low, joining the palms together at heart center. Exhale, twist the torso to the right, placing the left tricep on the right thigh. Pressing into the palms to really help lengthen the torso, to help lengthen the waist. Maybe seeing if you can sink those hips a little lower. One more breath. Keep the hips low. Inhale, raise the arms to center. Exhale, palms to heart center and twist to the left. Really trying to pay attention to the breath here. Allow the breath to help you find ease, to help you soften. Inhale, raise the arms to center. Exhale, forward fold, extend the legs, well done. Release. Plant the palms on the earth, inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana, twice more. Going at your rhythm. Planting the palms down, stepping one leg back at a time, plank pose, Phalakasana. Core is engaged, but a lot of our support here is actually coming from the quadriceps, so really contract those muscles to help keep you stable. Staying high on the balls of the feet. Shoulders are in line with the wrists. Lengthening the neck. And from here, placing your right palm in the middle of the mat, twisting the torso to the left, raising the left arm skywards, side plank, Vashisthasana. Keeping those hips elevated. Wrists, elbows, and shoulders are all aligned. One more breath. Mindfully returning the left palm to the earth. One breath in plank, and we'll set up for Vashisthasana on the right hand side. Knowing that you can always lower down onto your forearm or bend your lower knee and have it in contact with the earth for a more supported variation. This is a beautiful way to strengthen the triceps, the obliques, as well as the outer hips. One more loving breath. Exhale, right palm to the earth, plank pose. One breath here. And we'll begin to slowly lower down in a chaturanga, allowing the arms to graze the torso. Hover for a moment and lower down. Well done. Point the toes. Elbows underneath the forearms, arms out in front. We'll come up into Sphinx pose, the Lamba Bhujangasana. You might like to take a moment to gaze behind you to ensure that your ankles, your knees, and your heels are aligned. Pressing into the pubic bone, the tops of the feet, to help support you here. Feeling as though you're pulling your chest forwards whilst rolling the shoulders back to really help open that heart space. Feel yourself releasing stagnant emotions with every exhalation. And from here, gently lowering down onto your palms, creating a pillow, elbows splayed wide. Makarasana, crocodile pose, big toes together, heels are turned out. And gently placing your palms under the shoulders, bending the knees, guiding yourself upright and coming into child's pose. Noticing the expansive creation of space around the lower back. You might notice that your hips are feeling a little bit more opened compared to when we started class. Or maybe you notice nothing at all, knowing that that is okay. Inhale, coming up into tabletop position, tenting up onto the fingertips and guiding your right foot between the hands. Low crescent moon, Anjaneyasana. Either staying here or on your inhale, floating the arms up, joining the palms together, scissoring the inner thighs so that we're protecting the pelvic ball, ensuring that that front knee is aligned with the ankle, hips are squared. Breathe. One more breath. Returning the palms to the earth, bending the back knee, guiding the back heel towards the glutes, and using your right arm to grab a hold of that left foot. feeling a beautiful release for the quadriceps. Mindfully re-extend the leg, lower the right arm down. Extend the right leg, guide the right hip back. Ardha Hanumanasana, half monkey, half split. Maybe lowering onto your forearms. And for this variation, you might like to have your arms on the inner seam of that leg. Rebending that front knee, coming into lizard posture, Uttanapristhasana. Perhaps lowering down onto the forearms. And maybe rolling onto the blade edge of that right foot as you open that right knee and externally rotate that hip. Allowing your left hip to melt towards the earth. If you're in a forward fold, re-extending the arms, and we'll set up for pigeon pose, guiding the right heel over to the left wrist, right knee towards right wrist. Again, keeping the hips squared and seeing if you can keep that right glute in contact with the surface beneath you. Notice if it begins to lift up, and maybe placing a block or a cushion underneath that hip to support you. Either staying upright or coming into a forward fold. Breathe. Mindfully release, returning the torso upright, meeting in a tabletop position, taking as much space and time as you would like. It might feel nice to circle out the hips in one direction and the other. Slowing down the movement, tenting up onto the fingertips, and this time guiding the left foot between the palms, low Anjaneyasana. Finding your variation, settling in. If your arms are raised skywards, mindfully returning the palms to the earth, keeping the right arm grounded as we bend the right knee, guiding the heel towards the glutes, and maybe using that left palm to bring that foot closer as you feel a beautiful quad stretch. Mindfully release. Extend the front leg, half monkey, half split, keeping that foot flexed, engaging the quadricep here to protect that knee. This can be a really sensitive region for some of us, so really giving yourself the space and the time to breathe into the hamstrings. Rebending that front knee, we'll set up for lizard pose, taking your variation. Knowing that if stillness doesn't feel okay for you right now, you could always invite some movement into the hips, gently moving the hips from side to side, shifting your weight forwards and backwards, remembering to always make this practice your own. If you're in a fold, re-extending the arms, and we'll set up for pigeon pose Kapotasana on the other side. Noticing the sensations around the left outer glute, the outer hips. Staying upright for a breath. And maybe coming into a forward fold. One more mindful breath in pigeon pose. Placing the palms under the shoulders, returning the torso upright, returning to tabletop, and from here lowering the sits bones down onto the earth, extending the legs out in front. scooting your hips forwards, bending the knees, ensuring that you have enough space behind you. Inhale, extend the spine. Exhale, curl and round. Begin to lower each vertebra down onto the mat. If you have any accessories in your hair, you might like to remove those so that your head can comfortably rest on the earth. Guiding the knees to the chest, you might like to interlace your fingers around the shins. Perhaps swaying side to side, and from here interlacing your fingers around the right shin, guiding the knee to the chest, extending the left leg out, Bawa Muktasana, wind relieving posture. Grounding down through the left heel, keeping the left toes and the left knee facing skywards. Softening the shoulders, softening the forehead, relaxing the muscles around the eyes. You might like to come into a spinal twist, using the left hand to guide that right knee over to the left, gazes to the right, keeping the shoulders in contact with the earth, noticing the sensations around the outer right hip, the lower to mid back, and letting go. Gently release and draw both knees to the chest, and we'll take wind relieving posture on the other side. Finding stillness. Either staying in wind relieving posture or finding a spinal twist. Lean into what feels good. Well done. Drawing the knees to the chest, and we'll lower the feet down onto the earth. Allow the knees to splay wide, soles of the feet together, coming into supine butterfly, Supta Baddha Konasana. You might like to place one palm on the belly, the other on the heart space, to really facilitate a deeper connection to your body, to this moment. As you notice the soft rise and fall of the belly and the sternum with each inhalation and exhalation. I invite you to close practice and rest here in butterfly pose for as long as you like, pausing the video, and when you're ready to join us, perhaps stretching the body in either direction, rolling onto one side, coming into fetal position, keeping the eyes closed. And when you're ready, finding a comfortable seated position. Joining the palms together at heart center. The light and the teacher in me honors and salutes the light and the teacher in each and every one of you. Thank you for today. Namaste.